For right now, we've got quite the snowstorm across eastern North Carolina. It has been certainly impactful up to this point. We are hearing reports about many car crashes across eastern North Carolina, not just some areas, all of eastern North Carolina. In fact, we do have reports that we've had about 29 car crashes in Onslow County since around 12:30 earlier this morning. That's 12:30 p.m. Again, 29 car crashes. That's just in Onslow County. And I just spoke with our chief engineer who's coming up from the Highway 11 area just outside of Grifton in southern Pitt County, and saw 8 car crashes from Grifton to really Greenville. That's quite a few. If you don't need to be on the roads right now, don't be on the roads right now. Just don't do it. Not worth it. Not worth the increase in car insurance. Not worth the medical bills. Not worth putting yourself in danger. And obviously, not worth putting other people in danger to help you out because you made a bad decision. We're telling you guys right now, it is not a good idea to be out on the roads. If you can help it, please stay off of the roads at this time for pretty much the duration of the event, certainly for the rest of tonight, because, yeah, visibility very low right now. This is what we're seeing right now across Pitt Greenville Airport, and you can see it looks like they've got some tractors out there trying to clear the runway. It's just, oh man, an effort in futility. It's one of those. I wish them all the luck in the world at completing their mission, but right now, with the amount of snow we're seeing coming down across eastern North Carolina, it's a tough mission to be dealing with right now. 19-degree air temperature, feels like 7 when you're outside in it right now. It is very cold throughout eastern North Carolina. This is what it looks like in Morehead City, actually looking a little bit better than what we've seen over our past few updates. The heavy snow, not quite as heavy as what we saw earlier today, but still, it is windy, it is cold, and we've got more moisture flowing into eastern North Carolina from the south to the north, which means the Crystal Coast is seeing some of the first flakes as they come in off of the water. 22 degrees right now in Morehead City, feels like 6. You factor in that northwesterly wind at 23 miles an hour. This is what it looks like right now in Goldsboro. Again, doesn't look all that intense coming down, but take a look at the street lights. Once you see the street lights, you can get an idea of just how heavy that snowfall is across Wayne County. Above the street lights, you can't really see much. It doesn't really look like a whole lot's going on, but once you add a little bit of light to that picture, whew, yeah, it's certainly coming down right now. Let's take a look at what we have seen through some Carolina camera footage. Obviously, this is video that you're going to have to turn your head sideways for, but Stephen Keeter did a pretty good job of, again, capturing the snow as it came in. Just got to turn that camera a bit, but yeah, this is from Emerald Isle. I do want to say thank you to Stephen for sending that one into Carolina Camera. Quite the scene earlier today in Carteret County. This is a picture from Jacksonville. Jim F. sending it in from either his neighbors, or maybe a friend of his, their Jeep. Kind of covered up in snow, but clearly, again, making some progress. As you can see, they've got the tire tracks there through the snow. Hopefully, again, you're done using the Jeep at this point. As far as what else we are seeing across eastern North Carolina, Mike Guthrie hitting us with this one, a beautiful shot over the Outer Banks, or maybe the Outer Banks, more Emerald Isle, not Outer Banks. What am I saying? Crystal Coast. There we go. Read the graphic, Charlie. Come on, get your head in the game. Anyways, a wonderful picture there from Mike Guthrie. Thank you so much for just sending that one in. I always love the beach and the snow. It just always looks like, in my mind, just, you know, conflicting idea of warm weather spot with cold weather presence, and just always a nice picture there. As far as what we've got in Washington, this was sent in by Alan Ramirez. As you can see, again, quite a bit of snow coming down across Washington, covering up the roads, and thankfully, not seeing a whole lot of traffic on the roads. That is absolutely encouraging, but also it means don't go out on the roads. Don't be that one to cause the problem for everyone else. Here's a big picture look at what radar is doing. We again continue to monitor the dry slot across the central portion of the state, essentially around the triangle, all the way down towards Cape Fear, where moisture has just not been there. hasn't shown up. We knew again that we would likely see some heavier totals closer to the water, and that's pretty much what we are still seeing. Again, Kristen Compton, how much snow are we thinking now? Kristen, we haven't really adjusted our forecast expectations as far as snowfall goes. We are anticipating most of eastern North Carolina between around I-95 to about Highway 17 to pick up about 4 to 7 inches. Once you get along 17 and then head east of 17, you're looking more at around 7 to 12 inches. We're sticking with that forecast, haven't really deviated off of it, and so far today, what we have seen is only reinforcing those numbers. We're not adjusting any to bring any numbers down. We're sticking with what we called for earlier this week. Let's zoom it in a little bit closer on that dry slot. Do want to again, hang on, I got to get one moment here. All right, sorry about that, guys. I had an error with my streaming. I clicked a button I wasn't supposed to do, and well, yeah, always love that. Always love that. Anyways, we'll get back to it. Here again is a look at that dry slot. You're seeing Fayetteville starting to again see some filling in, but Raleigh right now still very much kind of stuck between two big moisture fields, but more dry air sitting further down towards the south. So Raleigh will start to see a little bit more of the lighter snow flurries mix in, but if you're hoping again for heavy snowfall amounts back on the western side of I-95, probably not going to be seeing anything quite as impressive as what we're going to be seeing on the eastern side of Highway 17. I think that's where we are going to end up seeing the biggest snowfall totals when it is all said and done. Now I've got another question. Why not broadcasting tonight on YouTube TV? Well, Susan Williamson, I do apologize. Earlier, we are on YouTube right now, but getting the stream going, our system again is a little bit taxed right now. I'm going to have to do a restart, but YouTube will slow to start. It is up running now. So again, if you do want to stream us over on YouTube, you are free to do that. Now, can you say the snow total for Jacksonville? Didn't see the map. We're going to get to the map. Let's get back to your forecast. I'm all over the place, bouncing, trying to figure out which buttons I should have pushed and didn't push and have pushed. And well, right now, again, we still have snow coming down. So I also want to highlight the fact that the Outer Banks right now not seeing any snow coming down. Another pocket of dry air is currently working its way over the Pamlico Sound, and that is impacting those of you watching near Middletown and Englehart in Hyde County. You guys are not seeing the same sort of snow we had just a few moments ago. Now, it does look like this dry slot, as you can see, it's extending all the way down towards Cape Lookout. That could give us a little bit of a break in the moisture later on tonight. That's something we'll continue to keep an eye on. The dry air infiltration with this system is what has kept us from calling for some of the higher totals other stations may have called for. Again, we have heard a lot of people coming into our chat asking, all right, where's the 10, where's the 15 inches of snow? Well, we never called for 10 to 15 inches of snow. We didn't think it was going to happen. And right now, it doesn't look like 10 to 15 inches of snow will be happening, at least across most of eastern North Carolina. There may, again, certainly be some that see 10, possibly 11, certainly possibly 12, but again, we're more in the 4 to 7 to 7 to 12 inch range throughout most of eastern North Carolina. Once you get on the other side of I-95, Interstate 95, then you're seeing again some even lower totals due to that dry air slot. Now Smith TT asks, how long is it going to last? Great question. We are likely going to be seeing a lot of these snowflakes come to an end tomorrow morning between around 5 to 8 a.m. depending on where you're located. If you're watching closer to I-95, anticipate the snowflakes being done between around 5 to 6 a.m. in the morning tomorrow. For those of you watching closer to 17, anticipate 7 to 8 a.m. a lot of those snowflakes coming to an end. If you're along the Outer Banks, you may hang on to some snowflakes as late as around 9 to 10 a.m. But by 11, everybody is going to be dry again, and everything is going to be set. What's on the ground is likely going to be staying on the ground through the tail end of Sunday, overnight Sunday night, into Monday, and through most of the day on Monday. Air temperatures, very cold right now, set to get a few degrees colder later on tonight. But winds are another aspect of this forecast that we really want to highlight for you guys, because this is something that I don't think has been talked about enough. We have talked about it within our last several updates. We talked about it earlier in the week, but winds are going to increase overnight tonight. Right now, sustained winds are between around 10 to 20 miles an hour, with some higher numbers closer to the water. We've seen wind speeds upwards around 30, 40 miles an hour sustained earlier today. We can see that again showing up later on tonight. Right now, gusts along the coast, 25 to nearly 40 miles an hour. We've got a 39 mile per hour gust reading in Manio along with Piney Island, and this will create some sound side flooding for those of you watching along the Outer Banks, particularly Ocracoke and Hatteras. That's where we are going to be seeing the sound side water level raise up quite a bit. The coastal flood warning will be in effect from 7 p.m. tonight, so in about 48 minutes from now, all the way till 7 p.m. on Sunday. We will also be under a wind advisory for western Carteret County, southern Craven, Pamlico, Beaufort, Washington, Terrell, Dare, Hyde, and the northern side of the Albemarle Sound until I believe it's 7 p.m. on Sunday as well. That wind advisory already in effect. So let's take a look at what models are showing us for tonight. By 11 o'clock, notice how most of eastern North Carolina is seeing about a 20 to 30 mile an hour sustained wind. Kinston, a little bit outside of that range at 19 miles per hour. We're going to lump you in with the 20 and plus mile per hour crew. 45 mile an hour wind expected in Hatteras. It is going to again be very, very windy. And David White said, you know it's bad when Jim Cantore is in Duck NC. You want to know why Jim Cantore is in Duck? It's this right here, these winds. We are looking at a possible blizzard warning for the Outer Banks because of dropping visibility, snowfall coming down, and winds strong enough to create those blizzard conditions. So a blizzard is something that don't usually happen in eastern North Carolina. When they do, Jim Cantore is probably going to be there, and that's exactly why he is where he is right now. The Outer Banks likely again going to be seeing the worst of the winds out of this system. We'll advance it a little bit further, and you can see some of those numbers getting even higher, getting upwards around the low 50s. Obviously here we just stopped it at around 46 miles per hour. Inland areas still at 5 a.m., 20, 30 mile an hour sustained winds easy. It is going to be a very windy night and a very windy morning. If you lose power, don't anticipate it coming back on through the rest of the weekend. It's going to be difficult for crews to, again, get to where they need to go in order to fix those power problems. Also, you got to dig through a whole bunch of snow. So if trees come down on power lines, you end up losing power. Hopefully, again, you prepared for this system and have everything you need. If not, again, reach out to a neighbor, reach out to friends, and see again if you can maybe go stay with them or get a little bit of an assist with a generator. Who knows, but make some moves again to try to make sure you stay warm and safe as those winds will stay breezy. Let's take a look at what we've got beyond just, of course, winds. Tonight it is going to be cold, but it will continue to snow. Here's what we've got coming up for tomorrow morning, starting out the day in the low 20s. Cloud cover present, but again, most of us, by the time we reach 7, 8, 9 a.m., the snow's going to be done by that point. We're not looking at any sort of additional snow, I would say, past 7 a.m. throughout most of eastern North Carolina. And we'll also see quite a bit of sunshine over the tail end of the day. So what does that mean? It means a pretty good sledding day, to be honest with you. A big reason why not seeing any additional snow coming down means that DOT crews can really start to work at removing the snow that's already on the roads. Also, visibility won't be quite as bad. It'll be easier to drive, easier to see, and those are good things when, again, you're driving a 2,000-pound hunk of metal around on snowy roads. Again, tomorrow is going to be the sledding day, not so much today, but here's again, get my face off of there. Here's what we've got over tonight into tomorrow. By 9 o'clock, still seeing plenty of snow coming down across eastern North Carolina. Similar story as we head towards midnight. But once we get into the early hours tomorrow, you'll be able to see that back edge work its way down across eastern North Carolina. Those of you watching in Snow Hill, Kinston, all of Pitt County, Greenville. You've got Tarboro, Rocky Mount, Wilson, Williamston, Windsor, Scotland Neck, Roanoke Rapids, Ahoskie. You guys, by the time we reach 5 a.m., will not be seeing any additional snow coming down. Obviously, you will have snow on the ground, but at this point, the system is pretty much over for you from a snowfall perspective. Let's advance this a little bit further. The rest of eastern North Carolina, save for the immediate coast and just about all of Carteret County and Dare County, but the rest of eastern North Carolina largely seeing a lot of the flakes done by the time we reach 7 a.m. And even further, for those of you, again, watching along the Outer Banks, you guys could still see some snowflakes coming down at 9, but by the time we get to around 10 to 11 a.m., even those are going to be pulling away from the area. So if you're wondering, okay, end time, what are we looking at? Most of us, this is going to be done by 7 a.m. Some of us, it'll be done a little bit later than that, but that means that you're watching right along the coast and you're having to deal with a potential flood advisory because of the winds. Now, the winds will relax slowly through Sunday, but they will still be strong enough to, again, create some afternoon flooding threats. As you can see, the cloud cover leaves us completely over the tail end of your Sunday afternoon into Sunday night. This will help drop air temperatures down back into the teens. Anything that tries to melt tomorrow afternoon, I don't think it's going to be much, but some of it may because of the sunshine we see, it's going to refreeze. It's going to freeze and it's going to stick around all the way through Monday. So here is a look at your full 8-day forecast, and it is just going to stick around through Sunday night, most of Monday. Not much melting happens when you're at 35 degrees and overnight lows are down in the teens the night before and the night after. So again, Monday, very little melting will occur. We will see more melting occur on Tuesday, particularly Tuesday afternoon, especially once those rain showers coming in. That will really help take care of any sort of lingering snow. There will certainly be some lingering by Tuesday afternoon, but that higher air temperature along with the rain showers and overnight lows staying above freezing, that's going to pretty much spell the end of the snow by the time we reach Wednesday at lunch. Then we're getting colder coming up for Thursday. Looks like next weekend we finally get back to what we would normally see, and that's some sunshine on both Saturday and Sunday, albeit with air temperatures down, still about 15 degrees colder than our seasonal average. What a forecast. What an event. This, again, is one that I hope everyone, I know since you guys are here, I really hope that means you guys aren't out driving. I do want to I send my appreciation to everybody who's commented. I see we've got Denise Preddy saying 7 inches in New Bern. About 3 to 4 inches in Vanceboro right now. Again, this is David Jackson is ready for spring. David, I'm with you. I'm trying to keep some blueberry plants alive. And each weekend, it just feels like I'm getting pushed back with that growing season. I want it to happen sooner. Each weekend forecast that's happened over the past, really the month of January, has told me that, no, it's not going to happen early this year, Charlie. You're going to keep watering those plants inside. But yeah, that's all we have time for. I want to thank you guys all for joining me over on Facebook. We will be back with more news and weather, mostly weather, coming up at 7 o'clock right here on the First Alert Desk. In fact, we are going to be reaching out. We'll have live reports coming up at 7 and 8 o'clock with Haley Hollinger along with Charlene Richards. I'm not exactly sure which one is going to be in which, but that's what we're going to be working on coming up for 7 and 8. So you'll be able to, again, get some more live looks at what is going on across eastern North Carolina from the comfort of your own home. Well, that's all we have time for. We'll be back coming up in just a little bit.